Just want to share a little discovery that goes on inside of a person of faith system. So you have your mind and you have your heart, and inside your brain you've got many parts. And that was created on purpose because God made our brains very complex. Psalm 51:6 is just the top runner scripture that handles all of that. But I'm telling you, there's many more to be found should you look. But when we have sacred parts, they go into overdrive. If you had any kind of breach when you were a kid, especially if it was sexual, okay? And say that creates in you this overwhelming sense of shame, and then you go into condemning yourself. It also will create behavior of you either hiding or acting out. Now, depending on the circumstances, the real issue at play is that you were born to be loved and you were born to have safety and security. So when you don't get that, these parts go into fight mode. They want to now protect you because they're like, okay, stay stuck in this memory, and we are now going to rise to the occasion so that you do not have to feel shame or condemnation. But the way that grows and picks up speed as we get older is through plugging ourselves into service. Why? Because we have unbelieving parts. Unbelieving parts are those that are still feeling the shock of the assault or the criticism, and they respond with the same measure that they were given. So they're going to talk to you with critical mantras and telling you, you better pick up the slack, you better get to that church, and you better perform and sign up for anything you can. So it's actually better if you're busy and you stay active, feeding other people's souls and neglecting your own. So if you're talking to other people and you're getting to understand them and their problems, then that appeases some of these parts that don't feel so guilty in that moment, and the condemnation can lessen until you go back home and you have to hit your head on the pillow, and then it's like, oh, I don't want to have to deal with these icky feelings that started way back when. Then we have the unbelieving parts, and the unbelieving parts, they're also a category of these sacred parts, because sacred parts we find through going to church or devout doctrine following, but the unbelieving parts, they're always going to scorn you. They're always going to demand that there's more to be done because there's never enough that you are accomplishing. And these unbelieving parts don't even think that Jesus is enough. And that's where they have to turn back to you and find you to be interesting enough to protect them so they can exchange their roles and get back to the essence of who they were. So who you really were when you were born is balanced, is feeling safety and security, love and acceptance. And if you're not feeling that in your service or in your belief of God, then that just means you have to turn back to you in order to get it.